So, Ashwin, the norm for Maruti off late was that they'll clock in margins northwards of 15. 12.4, margins of 14.6 or 14.7 as the case may be, that is substantially below what we were working with. Could this well be the new normal, and could this lead to a bit of a de-rating for Maruti, which has enjoyed a premium all of 2015?
Yes, the Maruti stock also was, riding very high earlier at about 4,700, and now it's at about 4,000 rupees. I think because of this, the margin miss that we have seen today, I think the stock may come down at least about 5 to 6% tomorrow, maybe, possibly. And from there, it may form a new bottom, and maybe, next quarter, we may not see such huge expenses in the next quarter, because this was a quarter of new launches, and maybe the stock may move upwards from that level with better volume performance in FY17.
Question from you. If you look at the EBITDA margins, in the press release, the normalized EBITDA margin for third quarter stood at 14.7%. Of course, this is after normalizing the employee cost. So, Bharat, I would like to, get a clarification from you. After adjusting for, abnormalities, the management says that the margin is 14.7 versus the street expectation in upwards of 16.5%. So, how do you think after adjustment the margin picture looks like? Do you think it is weak versus the consensus expectations?
Yeah, good evening. Definitely the margin profile has come in below what the street and myself were working with. So the reported margin is at 14.4%, and after normalizing the employee expenses, still the margin at 14.7% is below the street expectations. But one thing I need to mention here is that the discounting in Q3, I think, could probably be the reason for the weak margins, because in Q3, the festive season this fiscal shifted from Q2 to Q3. So Q3, the discounting levels would definitely be higher than Q2. So that could be the prime reasons for, a margin disappointment.
So, Ashwin, my question to you is, what's the verdict on the stock as a result of these set of numbers? The initial thought, I'm not asking for the final print that will go on your report, but do you believe that there could be downsides? And what would your call be on the stock for tomorrow and the near term?
See, the reaction of today's results will be seen tomorrow, and maybe for a couple of more days, maybe once it gains stability at a particular level. But on a long-term basis, we are positive on the stock. We may be cutting the target price after post the conference call. Whatever the management says, we'll be working on that, and the number will be fixed later. But from current levels, at least, we are positive on the stock.
And same question to you, Bharat. What would your call be on the stock? How much lower do you think Maruti can go to in tomorrow's session? Because there will be a knee-jerk reaction, or a reaction. I wouldn't call it a knee-jerk reaction. There will be a reaction on the stock tomorrow.
Yeah, possibly, given the margin disappointment, even after adjusting for the abnormalities, there is a high probability of the stock going down tomorrow because of the results, and yeah, there could be possible negative reaction on the stock tomorrow.
Ashwin, thanks so much for joining in and giving us that perspective. Now, Yatin, the same question to you as an auto analyst. What I'm trying to understand is that while the normalized margins have come in at 14.6, 14.7, the reported margins are substantially lower as well. Is that the biggest disappointment on the stock? Because still now Maruti is held out because they have maintained their cost controls quite well and stayed margins above 15%.
Well, clearly, the margins have disappointed, and, if this is the trajectory